Before round 4 begins, I have an announcement to make.
What?
There's an additional rule I have yet to inform you all of.
A quirk of the race, if you will, that you all may be interested in. Is he about to say you can only use run 3 times? Or you can only use run 3 times back to back and then you have to do something else? I can imagine it.
No doubt those of you who check the information tab will have noticed you each have a personality assigned.
Oh, is someone gonna have the cheating personality, and if you don't cheat, you'll be disqualified?
From the rat to the pig, each of your personalities are unique to you. Most of you probably dismissed that, and for most of you that was the right choice. However, for 2 of you, this personality is an incredibly important variable. First up, I'll talk about the victorious personality. The victorious personality wants to finish the race in first place, just like everyone else. However, the personality type isn't content in a big old shared victory. For this personality to be satisfied, no more than 3 animals can tie for first. If this condition isn't satisfied, the animal with this personality will be treated as if they have lost. It will be punished accordingly.
Wait, but that means...
Are you kidding? That's crazy.
Oh.
The other personality to take note of this is the defeated personality. Unlike the other personalities, this personality doesn't actually wish to win the race. The animal with this personality wants to be in last place when the race finishes. If that happens, all animals except those possessing the defeated personality and those possessing the victorious will be executed. However, this caveat is not applicable if first place is a tie between 9 or more animals.
What a farce. Does this guy think he's fucking with us?
Probably. I apologize for not making these rules clear from the start. I fear you might think that this would have been good information to have from the start. And you know, you are absolutely right. Therefore, to make up for keeping this from you until now, this round will be extended by 15 minutes. Use that time to regroup. And as always, choose wisely.
This couldn't be happening, right? There's no way. That bastard. There's no way that was unintentional. He let us foster a false sense of peace. And then when we were sure about our safety, he introduced this bullshit rule which forced our hands. Now, no matter what, at least 2 people would have to die. This couldn't be right. I thought he said that if we did everything right, everyone could escape. It was our fault for believing that psycho for 1 minute. Is he serious?
Probably.
And people are going to have to die, aren't they? Everybody, calm down. We can't descend into madness just like this. First off, the people with the victorious and defeated personality types should just admit it now. It'd be best for everyone. Maureen, you seriously think they'd out themselves like that? They're not that stupid. It's not stupid, it's noble. Think about it, people. Either 11 people could die or 2 could. Which sounds better to you?
11 people dying if I'm in a group of 2. Thank you very much. You confess now, I'll make sure you're honored after your death.
That's seriously your offer? Doesn't sound worth it to me.
Criticizing the offer? What, are you one of them?
Ah, no way. Trust me, if I had one of those personalities, I'd admit it. Why would I hide something like that?
Because you want to survive.
Yeah, see, I'm not hearing a good reason. Everyone, quiet. If your personality is victorious or defeated, please speak up right now. Obviously, no one is going to blame you. We just want to come to an agreement. However, if you don't speak up now, we'll have no choice but to treat you as an enemy. So please think carefully about how you want to proceed. With those words, a plague of silence came over the room. No one even dared cough. It was as if you could breathe in the tension. I was hoping that maybe things could be resolved easily. However, it didn't seem as if we would be so lucky. Eventually, Monkey joined in. Everyone actually remembers their personalities, right? It wouldn't be too odd for someone to forget such a seemingly useless detail. It's possible that the defeated and victorious personalities don't even know it themselves.
Actually, I'm not super sure about what mine is. I mean, I think I remember correctly, but I'm not certain, you know. Maybe I should go and check.
Like hell you don't remember. It didn't happen that long ago. But, Dragon, what's the harm of letting people go check? Better safe than sorry, right?
I think letting anyone retreat at this stage would be unwise. The flaws are twofold. First, it allows time for those with secrets to hide to compose themselves. At the moment, they're likely still flustered and more likely to slip up. Additionally, letting them walk away and think by themselves will give them time for justification. The subconscious mind is awfully effective at convincing the conscious mind of what it wants using sweet-sounding arguments. There's a saying that the best way to make a man murder someone is to give them a good reason and then give them time with nothing to do but think by themselves.
That sounds like a bit of a reach, Snake.
Doesn't sound like a bit of a reach to me, to be honest. No, Snake's right. No one needs to check their tablet because no one needs to know their personality. It doesn't matter if you've been affected by the motive or not, your actions needn't change. I'm sorry if this sounds callous or dismissive, but the simple fact of the matter is that we must prioritize saving the most lives possible. If we must let Brian murder two of us to secure the safety of the rest of us, then that's a trade we must make. This isn't self-preservation speaking. I swear I'd make that promise whether it was affected by that announcement or not.
So then, what's the plan, Chief?
The plan hasn't changed at all. We're going to find all the minor trinkets and then we'll all reach the finish line at the same time.
Hold on, isn't it a super duper bad idea not to change anything now that we know about the personality types? Now there's a really good reason for someone to betray us.
And how exactly do you propose they'd go about doing something like that? We've heard everyone's abilities and there's no quicker way of moving than all of us using the minor trinkets. If the victorious type tries to get ahead of the others before we begin using them, we'll immediately know their intentions. From there, the group can work against a common enemy and stop them. Once we get all of the minor trinkets, we can make it to the finish line in a matter of 2 rounds. Even if the defeated type doesn't activate the trinket, more than 9 will receive a joint victory, so their immunity will be forfeit. I suspect that this is why the 9-person caveat was added in the first place. Brian must have deemed it too easy for the defeated type to win had that rule not been in place. So ultimately, if we just proceed with the strategy, the 10 of us with normal personalities will be fine.
Great, so there's really no need to fear at all. Thank God.
You all are being awfully naive.
What?
Do you seriously think that those burdened with this rule would simply roll over and die? If they were willing to do that, they would have spoken up when we asked them to. Those with the will to survive will find some way to do so. To think they wouldn't is to underestimate the desire to live.
Horse's words hung heavy. Of course he was right. If they hadn't outed themselves already, then the people facing harsher rules wouldn't be content with things operating smoothly. The air would now be plagued with a brutal sense of distrust. How could we when traitors lurked in our midst? By the way, let me just make a guess on who the people are. My guess, based on what I've seen so far from the people and also partially what I've heard of their abilities, is that Snake will have one of those personalities. It just fits the best. He's the most intelligent. You want someone who's really intelligent as a traitor to sort of have a reason why their strategies could actually work out in theory. For the defeated, or, well, I just said he has got one of the two. The other one that I would find really interesting is if Pig had it. And I think I'd prefer if she had the victorious trait and Snake had the defeated trait. I think I'd prefer that way around because Pig's ability is just much stronger in an offensive way rather than, having to try and stay back. I think actually something like what's her name? Dragon? The one on screen right now, is also very well suited for the defeated personality to be able to stop specific people. Now the thing is that only works if the group actually does split up somehow, which could be tough. But she also sort of personality-wise fits with a more traitorous personality, I would guess. Apart from that, I don't really know who else could make an interesting case for a personality like that. Obviously, Ox.
for a couple of reasons. Mainly because you're probably supposed to trust him a lot because you started in the same room with him. Tiger probably has no personality like that. It wouldn't make much sense. I don't think it would make much sense for Sheep to have it. Dog might, but then again, he just doesn't care much. So then again, that would probably fit as well, where he's just playing this role of a guy who couldn't care less about what happens to him, but secretly he does want to survive. That sort of thing would still be interesting to see. Rooster, no, can't see that happening. I'd be surprised. The horse guy, maybe, but then again, he seems to lack the necessary intelligence to perform either of those roles. Who am I still missing? I'm not sure actually. Mouse, we ourselves. Do we know what personality we have? It would be actually incredibly fun to be one of those two personalities, but I don't think we are. We could be though. Would be interesting for sure. I unfortunately don't remember our ability, so I don't know if it was much use for it. Who else is here? Oh, we'll figure it out. Don't know right now. But we had no choice other than proceeding with the plan, even if we knew something was likely to go wrong. Oh, what, are we just going to look for trinkets like nothing's wrong? I suppose. Oh, so you're just cool with us wandering around by ourselves in a creepy school when there are people who want us dead? I see, that's cool. Good leadership there. They don't want you dead by murdering you right now. They want you to play the game and die afterwards. You are in absolutely no danger and of anyone externally until the game is over. You may well be in danger of people internally. There's nothing that tells us that none of us are murderers. There might be one of us that... Actually, what I think would be a cool twist is if one of these people, one of these 12, including ourselves, was actually the real murderer who killed the guy who Brian's father was accused of killing. That would be really cool. I'd like that. And then he or she, sorry, would maybe attempt to murder some people in here too. Because why not? After all, the less people make it to the finish line, the better. That sounds like something a psychopath serial killer would think. You have a problem with me?
Not scared, and who can blame her? You're the shitty commander not thinking about the safety of your grunts.
Okay, well, do you have a suggestion?
We'll move around in groups of 3. Tiger, Horse, Bunny, and myself will each be in one group, so all of them have someone who looks halfway decent at fighting. Sound good so far?
Why did you not include me on the list of fighters? I'd give my opponents the people's elbow. Get them screaming for their mummies, but their mummies won't be there because I fucked them already so hard that the mummies wouldn't be able to walk.
Well, I would kill to test that theory by beating the shit out of you. We don't got that kind of time, so I'm just gonna move on by. Any real objections? No. Great. In that case, each of us should choose someone they're most suspicious of to keep an eye on. As for me, I choose Ox.
Seriously?
You just brought up how the traitors would try shit, and then you'll propose we let everyone walk off on their own. That's a traitor move if I've ever seen one.
I will look over Sheep.
Suspect me?
Not what I said.
Oh gee, I don't think I suspect any of you. I guess if I had to pick, I'll keep an eye on Dog.
What, you think I'm lying to you all right now?
You might be.
I guess you're right.
I want to keep an eye on Snake. That guy creeps me out. I don't trust his shifty eyes.
How rude. Alright, Dragon, you've split us up into 4 pairs. What now?
What are 4 people not in a group yet? Let's just pick someone. I don't really give a shit.
That's an elegant solution.
Who gives a shit about elegance at a time like this?
I got along swimmingly with Tiger earlier, and Snake seems like a nice fellow. Those two shall make fitting partners.
Well, great to have you on board. It would be wisest to pick the group without a traitor in it, yes? With that in mind, I believe the safest choice would be with Horse and Sheep. Oh, thank you. Do not worry, it is not a compliment.
You guys are too stupid to be traitors. I'm going with you.
I realized that if I kept on doing nothing, I'd be left in a group without a say. There are only 2 left, so I had to pick now.
Who to go with? You know what? I like Bunny and Dog.
I'll go with Bunny and Dog. Hey, great to work with you some more.
Okay. I guess that leaves me with Ox and Dragon. Oh no, I should have picked something sooner.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
To speed things up, since time is now more of the essence, I say we should only reconvene at the cafeteria once every 2 rounds. Sound good?
Sure thing, no one gave a shit about that in the first place.
I don't.
Ox, drop it, it's not worth arguing.
Fine. It's just fine with everybody. The situation works, right?
There's something else? Is there something else? There's something else. Actually, I have another suggestion.
What is it, Mouse?
I'm worried about the possibility that someone might have both traitors in that group.
Oh, come on, what are the chances of that? I could probably calculate it for you, but not all that low.
Or what if the traitor's someone like Horse or Tiger? No one in those groups can stand against them.
She's not wrong.
No? For that reason, I think we should, as a collective, pledge to all look in the same general area. Obviously not in the same specific places, that defeats the point of spreading out, but the same area of the floor. That way, if something goes wrong, we can call out to each other.
I like that idea a lot.
Me too.
There's strength in numbers. The suggestion makes sense. Alright, okay, we'll go with that.
If this is the plan, then what section of the school should we look through first, Jesus? May I suggest the right part of the first floor? I don't think we've covered enough ground over there. Sure, let's just do it already. I'm sick of talking about this.
Dragon's curt remark cut the conversation off. We were all sick of just talking. We were antsy and nervous and sick. What would make us feel better? Looking for the dang trinkets. Everyone started searching throughout the same general portion of the first floor. Dog was a very light conversationalist and Bunny took his cues, so our group was a very quiet search party. But that didn't mean we weren't a determined search party. We went through rooms with a great amount of precision and speed. You have 2 ex-policemen, or 1 ex-policeman and 1 still policeman. It was only natural that before long Bunny found something unusual. In some room with a big projector there was a safe hidden under some stairs. Unfortunately, to open it there was some crossword puzzle that used a bunch of movie trivia. How the hell are we supposed to answer some of these when we haven't watched some of these movies? It's really weird. In the past, these things didn't seem to need specific knowledge. I don't know why this one's different. We're really stuck, why don't we start asking other people for help? Didn't that one kid do camera stuff?
You mean acting?
Yeah, whatever. The point is that we should pool our brain resources, you feel me?
Good thinking.
Taking Dog's advice, we talked to other people and before we knew it, we were able to solve the puzzle. By the time Bunny was able to open the safe, we had amassed something of a crowd. Unfortunately, when we looked in the safe, there wasn't a minor trinket statue. Bunny took it out. What's this? There's numbers on it. 829. Shut up.
What?
You moron, we don't know what it does.
We missed a piece of paper inside the safe again. Whoops. Same dance, same mistakes, you know what I mean.
Just read the paper, Dog.
I'm getting to it, relax. This is a prayer statue to the ancient draconic god, set to strike down enemies of ours. By activating this item, you're introducing another action that animals can take. There will now be a pray option to all available. After pressing pray, you can select any other animal's name or you can select no one. Pray cycles will be every 15 minutes instead of 45 and everyone must select the prayer option each cycle or face punishment, which means there will be 3 pray cycles every 45-minute round. At the end of a pray cycle, the participant whose name was entered by the most people will receive holy judgment and will be executed. Executed? The votes will be anonymous, but it will be revealed how many people voted for the participant. If everyone selects no one, or if multiple people receive an equal amount of votes, no one will be executed. When you activate this item, the effect will start at the beginning of the next round and will be explained to the group.
That's crazy. Who would ever want to activate that item? There's absolutely no benefit to something like that. You mean to tell me my sick A second chance information was for nothing?
I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss the use of this item. If there were a traitor, which we could not easily conventionally defeat, say Horse or tiger, we could activate this item and use it to take them down safely. It's a leveling game item to ensure that if there's one person completely physically superior to the group, they can't simply steamroll the rest.
What it is bait. We locked the statue up and never opened it.
Agreed. It seems entirely too risky to activate the item under any circumstances.
So we decided to seal off that item. We kept on searching. Snake's group found another minor trinket, bringing the count to 6, but eventually time ran low, so we had to go into individual rooms and input our actions. I chose to run, obviously. When that was done, we decided to start looking around the left side of the first floor. However, when the 4th round switched over, a voice started to play on our tablets. Attention, animals. A major trinket has been used and there is now a new option available.
What?
Praying.
Our faces twisted to horror as we realized that those horrible rules we had heard about had indeed been put in play. I already could tell that this meant nothing good. Someone used the major trinket. An immediate emergency meeting was called.
The hell was that? I thought we agreed to throw that horrible mechanic away.
Okay, fess up who did it. Don't worry, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Really think that's going to get them to confess?
What my dad said when I messed up. All of you, shut up. Ox snapped. His face was flushed with frustration. An understandable reaction to the horrible situation we had been thrust into. It's obvious that whoever activated this trinket had ill intent. We should assume that it was either the victorious personality or the defeated personality. In either case, the more people dead, the easier it will be for them to fulfill their objective.
But how are they able to use the trinket? Should have been locked away.
Also, what I just noticed is that actually, rather than sort of being able to work together as traitors, those two personalities are extremely at odds. Because the victorious personality requires wait a second. The defeated personality can only not win if they're either not last or at least 9 people finish at the same time. Less than 9 people finish at the same time? What was it? Yes, less than 9 people finish at the same time in first. So, I think I've forgotten my point. Making no sense in my head. Point is, they can't work together.
None of that matters since that idiot bunny blabbered off the first 3 numbers without thinking. At that point, they could have guessed and checked for the last one.
That's... Hey, isn't it suspicious that he gave the code away like that? Maybe he did that on purpose to try and make it seem like anyone could have used the item.
That way we wouldn't be able to pin the activation on him. Hold on a minute. Hey, I know that you have a right to be angry, but you're putting on some really hurtful accusations right now. Take a moment to reconsider, would you?
Not to impose, but is Pig's theory really possible? Bunny had yet to read the rule explanation and thus had no idea what announcing those numbers would accomplish. This does not necessarily clear him of suspicion, but I believe it a stretch to claim malintent for an oversight.
Thank you, Monkey.
No gratitude is necessary. I am just hoping to keep the conversation measured. Whatever, it's still his dumbass's fault for running his mouth like that.
Quit it with the pointless squabbling. We have a much larger concern to deal with.
What are we supposed to do now that this stupid system is in play? We can't descend into paranoia just because of this threat. We need to all promise to choose no one when we vote.
You seriously think people are going to do that? If everyone does that, one rogue vote could kill you.
I believe Pig has brought up the real reason this will never work. Even if we assume that whoever activated the major trinket will refrain from voting, a questionable assumption, there is a real risk that non-traitors will vote others in fear of being voted for themselves. It's a true dilemma.
Clear that simply promising to not vote isn't going to cut it. Therefore, we are forced to turn to the other way nobody dies, the case of a tie. If we focus all our votes in equal proportion on 2 people, then the votes will tie and we can all stay alive.
Wait, Ox, you're saying that you want us to vote for each other?
Yes, I believe that is the only way.
I think it's a wise idea in theory. And I actually prefer, the way of splitting the votes up to 2 people and not splitting everyone up on one other person, such as, for example, everyone voting for themselves. Because that way, the traitor, if everyone voted for themselves as an example, that way the traitor could make use of that and kill specifically who he wants by just adding one more vote. If it's just between 2 people, then the likelihood of the traitor wanting to kill off one of these 2 specific people is much lower. And also, if one of those 2 people happens to be the traitor, then they'd already, like, the amount of people they could kill is even lower. So I think it's just a better idea in general. But Ox, I fear that few will want to volunteer for the position of voted. It's an undesirable position no matter how you view it.
Fine, then I'll step up to the plate.
Ox?
Mouse, bunny, dragon, sheep, monkey, pig, I want you all to vote for me.
Are you serious?
This is what conviction looks like, eh?
What, you think Ox is being brave or something? That's nothing. Ox, tiger, snake, horse, rooster, dog, you all can vote for me. Seriously? The votes will be split 6-6, right? Neither of us will die.
Hopefully.
Definitely, I know myself, and I know that I'm not the type to die in a shithole like this. I don't like this plan, but if everyone agrees with it, I'll go along with it.
No objection here.
Nor here. I admire your bravery, Ox Dragon. I'll volunteer to be one of the voted next round.
No. It'll take too long to discuss this every single time. Yep, that's the point. You need to keep those and always have them be the same people and the same voters. You can't change this up every 15 minutes. We need to resume a trinket search, so if we can come up with a system, we should stick to it.
If we decided, should we go and enter our votes now? Those 15-minute cycles are going to be a lot faster than 4-round cycles.
Yes, I think that would be for the best. Come everybody, find a room and input your votes.
Everyone remembers who to vote for, right? I swear to God, if one of you fuckers forgets who you're on, and screws up your dead meat.
We split up and entered individual rooms. I voted for Ox. Thank God the game actually voted automatically. Now I could have just looked up the line in the log, but I would have completely forgotten who to vote for. I didn't have a choice. If I didn't, Dragon might die. But I had a bad feeling about this. I really didn't like voting for Ox like that. Whatever, I couldn't linger on bad feelings. I had to keep up forward momentum. I returned to the cafeteria. By the time everyone returned, the 15-minute cycle was almost up. We ignored that and talked about searching strategy. After we confirmed that everything worked out fine, we'll gather back up in the groups we were in and resume our search. The important thing is to stay focused. If we rush and miss a trinket, then mark a room as searched, we can be really screwing ourselves in the long run. We need 10 minor trinkets, no matter what. 12, of course, would be ideal, but Ox was interrupted by an announcement that played on our tablets.
With a total of 6 prayers, the great draconic gods have heeded the group's wishes and strike down Ox.
Ox couldn't even get a curse out before starting to choke.
Ox,
What's wrong with him?
The execution process. It's begun.
no.
But Snake was right. Ox's face had begun to turn a strange color, and he clawed at his own throat. Drips of blood started to come down from under the collar. The knives must have already been in his throat. He thrashed and swayed in a delirious, horrifying dance. Eventually, it was too much for him. His knees buckled to the floor. His body followed short after. And the corpse now lay in the cafeteria.
Ah! No. Damn it, damn it, damn it. What the hell? Ryan, you bastard. Fuck you. Fuck you and all that you stand for, you fucking murderer, piece of shit.
Mouse, calm down.
Excuse me?
I know you have the right to be angry, but we need to think about what this means rationally if we don't want more to follow it. I hated it, but Bunny was right. My rage was just supplanting my sorrow. I didn't know Ox for long, but he seemed really nice. We woke up in the same room, so I felt like I knew him the best. He was the leader of the group. And to end up like this? No. Both anger and sadness were out of place. I needed to once again bottle up my emotions. Because though I screamed at him, Brian wasn't the one who caused Ox to die. Partially. There was someone in this room.
What on earth was that about? I thought Dragon was supposed to get 6 votes too. Dragon, the hell is this about? Why are you looking at me? I did what I was supposed to. I was one of Ox's 6 votes. If you're looking to blame anyone, look at the people who were supposed to vote for me, because one of them didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Excluding Ox, that's 5 people. Tiger, snake, rooster, horse, and dog.
That's an interesting combination of people.
So, does that mean the person who used the major trinket is one of them?
Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Huh? God, this seems like a big pain, but it looks like I'm gonna have to really do some work today, huh? Let's assume that all non-traitors were completely loyal and fearless and did what they were told to with no ulterior motives. So we buy that. I do. We're still left with the problem that we're not dealing with only one traitor. There's 2 people who didn't out their personalities.
Shit. You're right, dog.
Even if one person started this prayer nonsense, now that it's active, there's 2 people who benefit from people dying. That means that even though the 2 don't know who the other person is, those with abnormal personalities are basically partners who both benefit from using this system to kill others. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it again, I do... Yeah, they can't really work together. Because if either of them wins, the other dies. But they can still eliminate as much people as possible. Because Victorious needs to win alone, and Defeated needs to lose alone. You can guess that at least one of the traitors are on that list, but it's going to be a big pain narrowing it down from there. Even if we attempt this tying shtick 5 or 6 more times, it'll still be a struggle to know for sure who's the traitor. Also, we're now at an uneven amount of people, so we can't.
What you're saying is that the time plan won't work, that we're totally doomed?
Didn't say that. Just said what I said.
Still, the traitors certainly got lucky. After all, if the 2 were voting for different people and both decided to switch their votes, not only would there be a tie, but we'd know 2 people tried to betray the group.
You wouldn't need to switch now, would you? You'd be voting for no one. If you vote for no one of the 2 is guaranteed to die. The only way that does not work is if you are one of the people who are up for vote. If you're not, then voting for no one easily solves your problem. Now the question is, of course, wait, both decided to switch, not only would there be a tie. No, we wouldn't know that, Snake, actually. Why would we vote that? Because it would still be 6-6 at the end. Except for if they were both in the same group to begin with. Then, yes, of course, it would suddenly be 8-4 and everyone would be like, what the fuck is going on?
Snake, that's it.
Oh?
I know how you can beat the traitors. Sorta. Actually, this might be a really dumb idea, so I shouldn't.
Just say it.
Okay, so the 2 traitors don't know each other, right? It would be difficult for them to plan.
Right.
I think instead of us making a big tie, we should make a little tie.
You mean like a 1 vote each type of tie? I'll be honest, I haven't totally 100% exactly been paying too much attention, so I might be off base in saying this, but wouldn't that make it easier for someone to get voted out, not harder?
We knew how the tie would go, it would. But what if we made it so the traitors didn't know who would be voted? 2 of us will be the designated voters, and the rest of us will choose to vote no one. 2 voters will then each vote someone separately, but the rest of us won't know which 2 people they vote. That way, the traitors won't know who's getting a vote, so they'll have to randomly guess who to choose. Even if both of them guess, it'll usually end with 4 people getting 1 vote each.
Not to be dismissive, but doesn't this plan have a fairly glaring flaw? If one of the traitors votes the same person that one of our designated voters chooses, that person will die.
That's why I said the system was flawed. It leaves things to chance and it has the possibility of going wrong. It still seems like our best bet. Not like I'm seeing a better plan to go with.
We could also use this to help figure out who the traitors are.
If it says that we have a 4-way tie, we'll know that the 2 designated voters are both definitely innocent.
Are you sure about that? I don't think it said that they'd announce who is voted in the case of a tie.
You're right, they didn't.
But they might do that, I don't know. I think it's unclear at the moment.
I see a problem with this plan.
Another one?
If one of the designated voters is a traitor, they'll know who their partner is voting and can copy that vote. The odds that at least one of our designated voters is a traitor is 2 in 11, which isn't that low.
2 designated voters? Designated voters could just not tell each other who they plan to vote.
That's better, but then we're risking the designated voters choosing the same person.
I know. We can have a system where the voters write all 11 of our names on sheets of paper, then fold them up. Then they can each choose a different piece of paper, look at who they need to vote, then throw their sheets away. And afterwards, they'll also throw the rest of the paper away. That way, they're definitely voting for different people, but they don't know who the other person is voting.
That is a good idea, Bunny.
That sounds like a great compromise. If that all works for everyone, I suggest we get a move on. These 15-minute cycles are far less forgiving than the 45-minute round cycles. In an effort to keep things moving, I'll volunteer to be the one designated voter.
And I'll be the other.
Great teamwork and choosing efficiency, guys. Yeah, just split up and vote. And also put in your moves for round 5 while we're at it. We don't know when we'll have another chance. And break.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, Ox's death was very unceremonious. I mean, obviously, but it kind of felt like, oh, now he's dead. Go on, move on. And I'm also thinking about, could you have avoided that death? I would assume so. Because, well, I've seen, let's just say I've seen art of the game, because it's literally the banner of the game on Steam. And there is a CG of Ox that is definitely not something we've seen yet. So either he's not dead, or, which is a more likely option, there's different routes you can take. Well, for us, he just died quickly. Once again, we split into different rooms, this time with a better plan. However, there was a sense of deja vu. This was the same feeling I had when we split up last time. I was trying not to think about how that turned out. We had also spent 2/3 of this round simply dealing with this prayer business instead of finding minor trinkets. It wasn't exactly a hopeful situation. Still, there wasn't much to do. I chose to run for round 5 and I chose to pray against no one. Then we met up in the cafeteria. This time, however, the group was silent. There were only seconds until the end of the prayer cycle. The success or failure of our plan would be determined. We all held our breaths, waiting to hear the outcome. Let me just quickly check something. And yeah, we're gonna end it there. That's gonna be the end of this episode. And don't worry, I'm actually cliffhangering myself as well because I'll save and end it here. But I just thought I wanted a good stopping point. That seems like a good cliffhanger. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for doing so, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.